In Boston, it will forever be known as the Memorial Day Massacre. The Celtics beating the Los Angeles Lakers by 34 points. The Boston assault came from all corners of the parquet floor. And in the end, the Lakers gave up more points in a championship game than any team in NBA history. The Lakers had cruised through the Western Conference playoffs, losing only 2 games in their march to the finals. After beating Denver, they had openly rejoiced at the thought of having another shot at the Celtics. But the faces told a different story in Game 1. Dejection, disgust, defeat. Because on the floor, the Celtics were poetry in motion, keeping the Lakers off balance at every turn. The question tonight is, how will the Los Angeles Lakers respond to that defeat? The boats are off the Charles River tonight, but the trains are still arriving at the old North Station. It's game time, number 2 of the NBA championship. When it was built in 1928, it was known as the Boston Madison Square Garden. Now it is simply referred to as the Garden here in Boston, the oldest arena in the NBA. Back in 1935, Notre Dame tried to play a football game in this stadium, but it proved to be too small. It was just the right size for Joe Louis in 1940, and it was a good size for Dwight D. Eisenhower, who was the president in 1952. But the favorite politician in these parts is the favorite son who filled the Garden, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. The most memorable sports moment here could be Bobby Orr's goal in the Stanley Cup, which beat the St. Louis Blues in 1960. And the man now who keeps the Boston Garden rocking is a basketball player by the name of Larry Bird. So welcome, everybody, to Game 2 of the NBA World Championship Series. It's the Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I'm Brent Musburger. When you think back to what occurred on Monday, it is still hard to believe that the Celtics beat the Lakers by 34 points. But I think the thing to keep in mind is that frequently in a 7-game series, it is the second game and not the first which dictates the tempo and the mood for the remainder of the series. Go back to a year ago. The Lakers came in here and they won the first game, and they were well on their way to a victory in the second game until, with time running out in regulation, the Lakers had the ball out of bounds. They got it to James Worthy. Worthy attempted a cross-court pass. Gerald Henderson intercepted the pass and rolled in for the layup that tied the score. The Celtics then went on to win that game in overtime, and they came back to capture a tough 7-game series. Now, the man who called that action last year and is here tonight down on the floor with his partner Tommy Heinsohn, Dick Stockton. Dick.
Thank you very much, Brent. A recurring theme the last couple of days for the Lakers has been these fans at Boston Garden and the positive effects they have on the Celtics. Well, the Lakers know after that blowout that they have to come out strong early and perhaps take the crowd out of this game. The 2 men who must lead the Lakers above all, the 2 generals, Earvin Magic Johnson in his exuberance, court-to-court, fast break style, and of course the 38-year-old Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who told me yesterday, I will not be an armchair general in this game. Tommy Heinsohn, where does it all start for the Lakers if they're to get even here?
Well, Dick, it starts with defense. They got to create some misses on the